Is the screen visible to you all? Okay. Okay. So in our last, since two last lectures, we were going through the memory interfacing, and we had saw one or two examples on that, and we'll continue with some more examples based on memory interfacing. Okay, as some of you have insisted that to go through some more examples, so we'll go through two more examples on memory interfacing. If you find any difficulty or if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay. So we'll continue with the third example. Here we are supposed to interface the 8086 CPU with two chips of 16 KB EEPROM. So 16 KB, and it is of there are two such chips. So since there are two chips, we can provide one chip for the even to use as an even bank, and one more chip can be used as an odd bank. Fine. And two more chips are there of 32 kilobyte RAM. Okay. So here also we can use one chip for the to have the even bank. The other chip can be used as an odd bank. Okay. And it is given that select the starting address of EEPROM suitably. Okay. So we have to use this starting address. So here it is given, it is not provided the address of EEPROM, and it is said that we have to select the starting address of this EEPROM suitably. That means what? Which address we should have for this EEPROM? Hello. It is said that you have to use the starting address of the EEPROM suitably. So can you tell me what can be the ending address? It should be ending address can that means FFFF0 should be by default. It should be the address of the EEPROM. Okay, so we have to use the address in such a way that that address FFFF0 should fall in the EEPROM. Okay, and we have to select such addresses suitably for the EEPROM. Whereas it is given that the RAM address must start at this all zeros. Okay. The EEPROM address should have, the last address should have at least FFFF0. It should not be, it is not that it should be the last address, but that address should fall in the EEPROM. Whereas the RAM address 00000, it should, that is the address which is the starting address of the RAM. Now we are supposed to interface this these EEPROM as well as ROM with this 8086 processor. Follow? This is our example, and we are supposed to solve this. So as we know that since I'm having 16 kilobyte EEPROM, the number of address lines which is required to address 16 kilobyte would be how many? 2 raised to 14. That means 14 lines would be required, 14 address lines would be required for this EEPROM. And since there are two chips, so one line can be used, that is A0 address, A0 pin can be used to select even bank or odd bank. That is all that you all are aware. So that means total A0 till A14 that can be used as an address for the EEPROM. So you can see that this is A0, A1 and so on till A14. And the last address for the EEPROM is all ones. Okay, and A0 to A14, all these are ones, and the starting address of the EPROM would be all zeros. Hope you are getting this. A0 to A14 should be all zeros, and the last address would be all ones. Fine. Whereas A15 to A19 should be ones. Do you agree to this, all of you? Have you understood this part? Okay. So A15 to A19 would remain 1. Why all ones? See, as we know that F0 should fall, that address should be the address of the EPROM. Are you getting this? Hello, am I audible now? Due to some network issue, I was disconnected. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So since the addresses are from FFFFF, so FFFFF can be represented by all ones. Here, all 20 bits are ones. Okay. Screen. Oh, sorry. I have to share the screen. Now, is it visible, all of you? Okay. So hope this is clear. All these addresses, all these bits should be ones. Okay. And since 14 lines should be there for the address, so A1 to A14 would be the starting address for that EPROM would be all zeros. And A0 bit is used for selecting the bank. So this is 0 here and this is 1 here. So what would be the range of addresses now? It would be all ones are F, 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 F. And you can see that this is 1, 1, 1, 1. So these 4 bits corresponds to F. Then 1 0 0 0 is 8. And all these are 0, 0, 0. So this would be the starting address of the EPROM, and this would be my ending address of the EPROM. Is this clear, everyone? Hello? Is this thing clear? So these addresses, since 14 bits are used to address the memory location in the EEPROM. So A1 to A14, the lower order bits would be connected to the EEPROM IC. Whereas the higher order, this A50 to A19 can be used as a chip select line. Is it clear now? Okay. Now it is given, they have asked that the RAM address must start at all zeros. Okay, so this is the starting address. All zeros would be the starting address. And the RAM address, the RAM IC's capacity is 32 kilobyte. So 15 address lines would be required to address each of this memory location of this RAM. Okay. And since there are two such chips, A0 line would be used to select one of these RAM IC. I mean, it is used to select the even or odd bank. Okay. So you can see that A0 till A15 is used for addressing the RAM IC. Okay. So the remaining 4 bits are kept as 0. So these are all zeros because this is the starting address. Okay. And what would be the last address? So since we require A1 to A15 line, so A1 to A15 are kept all ones. So this would be my last address of the RAM. Hope you are getting this. Whereas A0 line is used to select for that even and even bank. Okay, so that can be 0 as well as 1. So you can see that A16 to A19. So these bits are used as a chip select line for the RAM IC. Hope everybody is clear. So what would be the starting address for this RAM? The starting address would be all zeros. The ending address would be what? All these are 0. So this would be 0 here. Then all rest of all are 1. So F, 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 F. So this would be my last address of this RAM. Hope everyone is clear with this. If you have still any doubts, you can ask me. Since it is given that the RAM address should start from 0000, so we have used this starting address as 0000. If suppose if it is not given, if it is said that you have to use the continuous addresses of the memory, in that case, what can be the last address of the RAM? Hello, are you getting me? In case if it is asked that the RAM address should be continuous, it should be in continuous to the ROM address, then what can be the RAM address, the last address of the RAM address? Are you getting me? My question at least. See, from FFFFF to F8000, this is for the ROM. Now, then RAM should be at the continuous address of this ROM. So one less than that, that would be my my last address. Very good. F7FFF. So that would FFF, Genil, not FF0. F7FFF would be my last address of the RAM. And there onwards, you have to continue, you have to find out the starting address of the RAM. Hope everyone is clear with this. If you have any doubts in this, you can ask me. See, it lies in this, na, between F8000 till FFFFF. Okay, so that means it is the part of this EEPROM itself, Priyank. Okay, so that's why FFFF0, it is a part of the EEPROM itself, and hence our okay, fine. Okay, so now you can see that here it is given that A15 to A19, all of them are ones, it selects the EEPROM. Whereas A16 to A19, if all of them are zeros, then it would select RAM. So you can see that A15 to A19, it is connected through this NAND gate. If all of them are ones, if all these are ones, the output of this would be 0. This NAND gate would be 0. And as we know that all these chip select signals are active low. Okay. So you can see that this C, this is connected to the input of this NAND gate. So you can see that here you are having a bubbled input here. So this 0, and once again it is inverted here, so it would become 1. And BHE bar, so the BHE bar is also active low. So if this is 0, then this would become 1 here. If both of them are 1, then the output would be 0. You can see that it is connected to the chip select 1. So CS1 dash is here. Okay, that means if all of them are 1s and if BHE bar is equal to 0, then it would select this particular chip, ROM IC. Similarly, if all of them are 1 and if A0 is 0, then it would select this particular ROM IC, which is the even bank, because A0, if it is 0, that means it is an even address and it would be selecting this even bank. Okay. Similarly, you can see that this is A16 to A19. So according to this memory map, if all these are 0, then it has to select the RAM. So you can see that A16 to A19 is provided through the inverted input. Are you getting this? Here you are able to see this bubble. So if all of them are 0, so the inverted inputs are given. So that means it becomes 1s here. If all of them are 1, the C dash would be 0. Do you agree to this, all of you? Hello. You can see that here it is provided with direct input, whereas here it is provided as the inverted inputs. So in this case, if all of them are 1s, then this would be 0. In this example, if all of them are 0, then only this would be 0. C dash would be 0. Now this C dash, if it is accompanied with A0, okay, and it is converted, it is connected through the inverted input of this NAND gate, the output CS4 bar would be selected. So you can see that this is CS4 bar, which is used to select this RAM IC, even bank of the RAM IC. Similarly, if it is connected through the BHE bar signal, then it would be selecting this odd bank of the RAM IC. If you have still any doubts, you can ask me. Whereas you can see that A1 to A14, it is connected to this 14 pins of 14 address lines of this ROM IC, whereas A1 to A12, it is connected, here it should be A1 to, not A12, it should be A1 to A15, isn't it? So there is a mistake here, it should be A1 to A15. If A1 to A15 is connected, that means it is connected to the address lines of this RAM IC, okay, and it would select any one of these memory location depending upon this chip select line. RAM selection, okay. See, RAM IC would be selected if all these 4 A16 to A19 are 0. Do you agree to this, all of you? When this, okay. Now, so when this A16 to A19 are 0, since it is connected through this bubble, it implies that the inverted inputs are provided here. So if A16 to A19 are 0, the input to this NAND gate would be 1s. Do you agree to this? If all of them are 1s, the output C dash would be 0. Hello. Okay. This output C dash would be 0. Now you can see that this is C dash. So if this is 0, again here we are having this inverted input. So this would become 1. And here if A0 is 0, that means you are selecting an even address. So since it is connected through this bubble, so this would also be 1. Is this in clear, all of you? Okay. If these two are 1, the output would be 0. And you can see that it is connected to the CS4 bar pin. CS4 bar is where? Here. That is the even bank. So that means that it would select this even bank. Okay. Whereas similarly, C dash, if it is connected with the BHE bar, then it would be selecting this odd banks of this RAM. Okay. Whereas the rest of the address line, A1 to A15, here it is A12, it is wrong, it should be A15. A1 to A15 should be connected to the address inputs of this RAM IC. So every RAM IC would have the address lines as well as data lines. So since it is a 32 KB RAM, it has 15 address lines to this IC. Similarly, 15 more address lines would be for this. And based upon this A1 to A15 as well as this chip select signal, either even bank or odd bank or both the banks would be selected. If you have still any doubts, you can ask me. Shall we move for the next example? A0 is used, A0 line is used for selecting the bank. So that's why you can see that this is A0. A0, see, if you go through the addresses, so whether it is an even address or the odd address, we can confirm it using the least significant bit. If the least significant bit is 0, it implies it is an even address. If the least significant bit is 1, it implies it is an odd address. Do you agree to this? So among these address line, A0 is having the least significant bit. And if it is 0, it implies it is an even address. And if it is 1, it implies it is an odd address. Now is it clear, everyone? Okay. So always selecting the bank is with the A0 bit. Okay. So whether it is an even bank or odd bank, it is decided by this A0 bit. So now, many times you might have observed here we are having memory read bar, memory write bar. Since it is an ROM, we are having only memory read bar because we cannot perform a write operation to this ROM IC. Similarly, whereas here we can perform both read as well as write operation. Now, the output of this 80, so one of the pin of the 8086 processor is having read bar, write bar, as well as M/IO bar. Okay. So using these gates, you can see that we can generate this signal IO read bar, IO write bar, or memory read bar, as well as memory write bar. So you can see that when read bar is provided here, as well as if M/IO bar. So if it is 0, okay, so this is 0 and this is 0, so the output of this OR gate would be 0. If this is 0, it implies it is an IO read bar, because you can see that M/IO bar, if this pin is 1, it implies it is performing the operation with the memory, whereas if this pin is 0, it performs the operation with the IO device. So to generate this IO read bar or memory read bar, etc., as we have seen here, we are having memory read bar, memory write bar, etc. So to generate such signals, we can use this gates to generate this memory read bar, memory write bar, IO read bar, as well as IO write bar. So in case if say suppose this is if we want to perform a memory read operation, then what it has to do, since all these signals are active low, so if this is 1, you can see that that is connected through this inverter to this OR gate. So if this is 1, so this becomes 0. Do you agree to this, all of you? If M/IO bar is 1, it implies it has to perform the operation with the memory. Okay, so if it is 1 here and the inverted input is given, so that means it becomes 0 here. Okay, and read bar is here. So if 0 is odd with 0, the output would be 0. And here, since we are asserting this memory read operation if it is low here. So hence it is having memory read bar. Similarly, we can have this memory write bar as well as IO write bar. Okay. Hope everyone is clear with this. How can we generate these signals? Follow? Now, one more example. This is the last example I'm going through for this memory interfacing. So we are having an 8086 based system with the following specification. 32 kilobyte static RAM is we are having using 8 KB devices, whereas 64 kilobyte EEPROM we are having using 16 kilobyte devices. That means the required capacity of the memory is RAM is 32 kilobyte, but the available IC is only of 8 kilobyte. So how many ICs would be required to get this 32 kilobyte RAM, the capacity of 32 kilobyte? 4 such ICs would be required. Similarly, here also we may require 4 EEPROM ICs to get the 64 kilobyte EEPROM. Followed? Now, if I want to design the system, okay, use or design this memory using these available devices, how can we do it? So the total EEPROM which is provided, the capacity is 64 kilobytes. So we are starting with the EEPROM, because as we know that if nothing is provided here, the last address of the EEPROM should be FFFFF. Okay. So here the available size is of 16 kilobyte, and since this is the required memory capacity, so 4 chips would be required. Now among these 4 ICs, since it should be divided into 2 groups, one for to have the even bank, the other to have the odd bank. So in each bank there would be now 2 ICs. Are you getting this? Number of banks are 2, and in each bank will have this 2 IC. Now, as we know that the ending address of the ROM would be FFFFF, okay, for ROM set 1. So there would be 2 sets. Since we are having 4 ICs, there would be 2 sets of 2 such ICs each, okay. So the last address is FFFFF, and if I go through the memory map, so say suppose in this like this, so if it is an 8 kilobyte, how many bits would be required to address each of the memory location of 8 kilobyte? 13 bits would be required, okay. And A0 bit is used to select the bank. Do you agree to this, all of you? Okay, so total A0 till A14, A0 till A13, that is used for addressing the one of the set of this ROM IC. So what would be the starting address of the first set of the ROM IC? See, all these should be ones, for that would be the last address, and up to A13 it should be 1. Okay, so what should be the starting address for the first set? It would be 1111, that is F, then 1100. So what would be that? 1100 is 12. 12 is corresponds to C. Hello. FC000 would be my starting address. Do you agree to this, all of you? Okay. FC or F8 bit. ROM set 1. FFFFF would be my ending address. Why it is showing F8? 8 kilobyte. 8 kilobyte means what? 16 kilobyte. Wait. Sorry. EEPROM is of 16 kilobyte. Okay, fine. Okay, sorry. This RAM is of 8 kilobyte, but EEPROM is of 16 kilobyte. So it would require 14 address line and one more bit A0 for selecting the bank. So total 15 address lines. So if I go through a similar thing, so the starting address, last address would be FFFFF, whereas the starting address would be, it is same as that of this F8000. Hope this is clear, everyone. This is for the first set. Hello. Okay. Now for the next set, again the next 16 kilobyte. So the last address would be 1 less than this. That is F7FFF. Do you agree to this, all of you? Okay. So F7FFF would be the last address. Okay. Whereas if I change the rest of the bits to all zeros, like, okay, here also again, F7. So 1111, this bit would become 0 for the next F8000 minus 1 would be FCFFF. So 1111, see, this would become 0. Are you getting this? Hello. Okay, and rest of all would be ones. That would be my last address of the second set of the EEPROM. Okay, whereas the that is the ending address of set 2 of the EEPROM. Okay, whereas 1111 0 and all zeros, that means F000 F000 would be my starting address of this EEPROM. Hope you are getting this for the second set. Hello. Follow? This is how we can have. So since we are having two banks, okay, even bank as well as odd bank, it is given that since we have found that for the first set, for the odd bank, the last address was FFFFF. For the even bank, it would be FFFFE. Do you agree to this? Because A0 bit would be 0 here for the even bank, and hence the last address of the IC of that even bank would be FFFFE. Okay. Whereas the starting address of the even bank would be F8000, and the starting address of the odd bank of the set 1 would be F8001. Hope this is clear, everyone. Okay. Now, one less than this would be F7FFF. This would be the odd bank because this is the odd address. One less than this would be the even address, F7FFE. And when we make it 0, we have found that this is the starting address of this second set of the EEPROM, F0000, and the starting address of the second set of the odd bank would be F0001. Hope this is clear, everyone. So this is how, this is just the memory map of the ROM, the addresses which is supported by the ROM IC, okay, in set 1 as well as set 2. Similarly, if it is not provided from what address we have to start with the RAM IC, here in this example, it has started with the first address, that is 00000. Okay. Now, the ending address of this would be what? Since it is the size of this RAM IC is of 8 kilobyte. Okay, so that means 13 address lines would be required, and one more for selecting the bank. So total A0 till A13. So those 14 address lines would be required for addressing the RAM IC. Okay, so if I go through this memory map, this would be clear. Okay, so this is my 0000, and it is given that 13 address lines plus 1, that is 14 address lines, A0 till A13. So these address lines are used for addressing each of the RAM location, and the starting address would be all zeros, whereas the ending address would be, these 6 bits would be 0. Okay, whereas the rest of all would be ones. So what would be the address here, ending address here? This would be 0. Here 2 bits should also be 0 because it is addressed up to A13 itself. So it would be 0, 3, because 0011 corresponds to 3, FFF. Okay. So 0 would be my starting address. It is showing 7F. How is it? Sorry, the ending address should be 03, not this. It is not 7. Okay, there is a mistake here. It should be 03FFE as well as 03FFF. This would be my last address of the first set of this RAM. Are you able to get this? Here there is a mistake. Okay. Now the next set should be 1 greater than, the address should be 1 greater than this. So this would be 04000 would be my starting address. Okay. And again, to this starting address, if I sum 03FFF, so that would be my last address, that gives me 07FFF. This would be my last address of this RAM IC or RAM set 2. Okay. Hope this is clear, everyone. This memory map here, there is a mistake. It should be 03FFE instead of 07FFE. Hope this is clear, the example. Okay. So now, so you can observe here, this is the memory map of all the RAM as well as ROM IC. You can see that in this example, the ROM set, the starting address is F0000, for one set, and the last address is F7FFF. Then for one more set, it is F8000, and last address is FFFFF. So this is what it is shown. So this is my F, then 8000, okay, as well as F8001. So this is my, you can see that this is the even bank because it is 0 here, and this corresponds to the odd bank. This address is F8000 for selecting the even bank, and the last address of that even bank was FFFFE. This was my last address for the set 1, whereas for the odd bank, the last address was all F, and the first address of that set was F8001, which we have seen here, isn't it? F8000 was my starting address of the first set, okay, whereas F8001 was my starting address of the odd bank of the first set. The last address was all F, and here the last address was all FFFFE. That is what it is indicated here bitwise. Okay, this is for the ROM set 1. Okay, similarly for ROM set 2, what was that? ROM set 2, you can see that the starting address was F with all zeros for the even bank, and the last address was F7FFE, whereas for the odd bank here it was F0001 and F7FFF. That is what here indicate F0000 for the even bank, and the last address was F7FFE. This was my last address of the even bank, which is written here. Okay. Similarly, F0001 was the starting address of the odd bank of set 2, and the last address was F7FFF. That was my last address of the odd bank. So these are the memory map for the ROM. Is this thing clear? Okay, now this is used to find out what, how can we how can we decode this, or how can we provide the chip select signals for each of the IC. That's why this memory map is written. Okay. Similarly for RAM. So for the set 1, the starting address for the even address was 0, all 0000, and the last address was 03FFE. This is for the even bank of the set 1. Okay. Similarly 00001 and 03FFF, that was the last address. The next, for the next set, the starting address was 04000, which you have observed here. Here it should be 03FFE and 03FFF, whereas for the set 2 it should start with 04000 and the last address was 07FFF. Okay, this is what it is drawn here, 07FFF. That is my last address of this RAM. Okay, now by looking at this, what you can observe is when all these A14 to A19, if all of them are zeros, then it has to select the RAM ICs of set 1. Hello, is this thing clear? Okay. Whereas if I use this A14 to A19, if I'm using this bit as 1, then RAM IC of set 2 is selected. Whereas if say suppose if I'm using here this 6 bits are there, 6x64 decoder, then in that case if I use this, if I'm having 11100 or 111101, okay, that means what? 111100 means what? This is 60, isn't it? 63 minus 3, that is 60 or 61. If any of these two are there, then it has to select the ROM IC, ROM of set 2. Whereas if it is 64 or 65, if I'm using 6x64 decoder, if I'm having the inputs as 11110 or all ones, then I have to select this ROM ICs of set 1. Hope you are getting this. Okay, so this is illustrated using this diagram. You can see that A19 to A14, these pins A14 to A19, that is used as an input to the 6x64 decoder. Since we are having 6x64 decoder, we are having 64 output lines. Do you agree to this, all of you? If it is 3x8 decoder, there would be 8 output lines. If I'm having 6x64 decoder, then there are 64 output lines. So among the 64 output lines, in case if I'm having the output as 0, I mean if all these pins are 0, then only this would be asserted, whereas all these would be it would not be asserted. And here we are having the active low outputs. That means if all of them are 0, the output y0 dash would be 0, whereas y1 dash to y63 dash, all of them would be 1s. Do you agree to this, all of you? If all these are zeros, the first output would be 0, because here we are having active low output. That means if all of them are 0, only one of the output would be 0, whereas rest of all would be 1s. Okay, so this is y0 dash. You can see that if this y0 dash, here it is y0 dash, okay, and this is ORed with a0. If both of them are 0, that means this is what? Which is this? IC 6264. So this is 0. So what you have observed here in this table, if all of them are 0, what should be selected? RAM or ROM? Hello? RAM IC should be selected. Okay. If all of them are 0, the RAM IC, so this is a RAM IC. And if A0 is connected to this, means what? Which is this bank now? A0 is connected. It is an E1 bank. So that means this is the set 1 RAM IC E1 bank. Whereas here you can see that it is connected to the BHE bar signal. Okay. That means this is used to enable the odd bank of the RAM IC. Hope you are getting this. This is the set 1. Hello, is this thing clear? This is a set 1. Okay. Now how about set 2? Set 2, if you observe this memory map, what you have observed that when this is 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, okay, in that case, so that means when this A14 line is 1, okay, then whereas rest of all are zeros, then output y1 dash would be 0, whereas other outputs would be 1. Do you agree to this, all of you? Okay, so now this y1 dash, you can see that this is here. Is it visible? This y1 dash, if it is ORed with A0 and it is connected to the chip select line, so that means it is set to RAM's E1 bank is represented here, and it is shown here, and that is connected through this y1 dash as well as A0. Similarly, y1 dash as well as BHE bar signal, that is connected to the chip select of this ORed bank. This is the ORed bank. Hope everyone is clear with this. So this is about the even bank as well as odd bank of both the sets of the RAM IC. This is how the interfacing is done with the memory, with the CPU. Hope everyone is clear. Okay. Whereas what we have observed, this is 63, 111100. And this is 111101. So what is this? 60 as well as 61, isn't it? 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 60, 64. Okay, the next would be 64, or the next, the weight of that would be 64. And here, if I'm having all ones, it would be 63 minus 3, it would be 60. That means 60 minus as well as 61. If any of these are either it is 60 or 61, then ROM set 2 should be selected. So that can be shown here. You can see that these two are 60 as well as 61, and it is connected through this AND gate. Okay. So if any one of them is either it is 60 or 61, so one of the output would be 0, whereas the others would be 1, because all these are the active low outputs. So if this is 0, the output of this AND gate would be 0. Do you agree to this? X, which is represented as X. So it would be 0. Whereas if both of them are 1, the output would be 1. In that case, it is not selecting this ROM IC. What we want that if it is 0, then only it would be selecting this ROM IC. Isn't it? So here, if it is 60, then one of this output would be 0, either 60 or 61 would be 0. Okay. And the output of this AND gate would be 0. Are you getting me? This shows X. X, you can see that it is connected here. This is X, here also it is X. Again, it is accompanied with A0 as well as BHE bar signal to select, and it is connected to the chip select line to select either the even bank or the odd bank of this ROM IC. Is this thing clear? Because here we are having two 111100, that is 60 as well as 61. Either it is 111100 or 111101. It has to select the ROM set 2. Hello, is this thing clear? If see, it is a decoder. In the decoder, only one of the output would be 0, whereas rest of all would be 1s. Priyank, is it clear? Got it, all of you? In the decoder, if I'm having 3x8 decoder, depending upon the inputs what I provide, if it is an active high decoder, if the output is active high, only one of the output would be 1, whereas rest of all would be zeros. No two output at the same time would be 1. In the similar way, here the thing is different. Here the output is active low. Okay. And hence only one of the output would be 0, whereas rest of all would be 1s. Still, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Is it clear? The next, in this, for ROM set 1, you can see that it is 11110. That means it is 62 as well as 63. All ones. If any of these two condition occurs, so you can see that 62 as well as 63 is ANDed together. Okay. And that is connected to this Y or Z, whatever it may be. And you can see that that is connected through this A0 as well as BHE bar signal to have this one more set of this ROM. So like this, the interfacing is done of the RAM IC as well as ROM IC with the given capacity of this memory IC. Hope this is clear, everyone. If you have any doubts, you can ask me still. Shall we move? Any others? I can see only one feedback. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay. So till now, we have observed about the interfacing with the RAM, interfacing the memory with the CPU. Okay. So either it can be a RAM IC or it can be a ROM IC. Now, how to interface with the IO device? Okay. So if we want to interface with the IO ports, then the similar thing is the same concepts can be used, but here the IO ports can be addressed by using only 16-bit rather than that of the 20 bits. Okay, so in that case, the higher order 4 bits, that is A16 to A19, the higher order 4 bits cannot be used for interfacing with the IO ports, since it is the capacity or the ports can be addressed only by 16-bit. The same concept can be used to decode any of these IO ports. Okay, we can use the decoders, etc. Here also, say suppose the if we are having some, say suppose 8 IO ports, okay, then I can use some of the address lines directly connected to that, and rest of the address lines, as we know that here also uh, we are having only a limited capacity of the memories built here. The rest of the address lines we are using for selecting the chip, isn't it? Similarly, here also in the for accessing the IO ports also the same thing holds good. So some of the address lines can be directly connected to the IO ports, whereas the rest of the address lines can be used for selecting the chip of these IO ports. Okay. Hope you are getting. So I'm not going through that thing. So even these decoders can, sorry, instead of directly these decoders, we can have the PROM, which you all are know, and this can be programmed. You all are aware how the organization of the PROM. Okay, so PROM consists of a decoder with this OR gates, and you might have the number of links provided here, and you, this can be either connected or it can be disconnected, and you can create the, or you can have this logic construction of this 32 cross 4 PROM, which is shown here. I'm not going here. So instead of decoder, such decoder, you can also have such ROM for decoding any of these ICs. Okay. So the advantage of using PROM is they are programmable, because you, as you can see, you can remove this link or you can connect this link, and based upon that, it can be programmed differently. And large number of inputs on the PROM allows us to select a specific area of memory without using external gates. We need not have any external gates. You can directly, you can program it by either by connecting this or by removing these links. Okay, as you are using separate gates here for these selecting these ICs, instead of that, you can use such PROMs for directly. It can be used as a decoder, and it can be connected to the chip select signal, chip select line of these memory ICs. Okay, so 2 more minutes are left, and we'll go through some more assembler directive, so which are a bit simple. The very first one is ORG. ORG stands for origin. As we know that whenever we declare some segment, say suppose if I'm having a data segment, and if I declare some variable n defined by some value, say suppose 10, okay, then data ends. Now by default, what would be the offset value of this n? By default, what would be the offset value of a variable in the data segment? Say suppose I have written like this data segment, then I have written n space defined by 10. It would be 0, 0, 0, 0. Do you agree to this, all of you? Okay. By default, any of the segments offset address would start with all zeros. Now, if we want to change my default segment address to some other value, okay, so I can use this ORG. ORG stands for origin. It is used to assign the starting address for a program or data segment. So say suppose if I have written ORG space 300, say first I have written data segment, then I have written ORG space 300. Then if I write n defined by 10, in that case, instead of the offset value of n with 0, 0, 0, 0, now the offset value of n would be 300. Are you getting this? If I check the offset value, instead of 0, 0, 0, 0, that offset value is changed now to 300. Are you getting me? Okay. So you can change the effective address or the offset value of any of the either the variable, even you can start your code segment with some other offset value instead of zeros. Okay, you can use this ORG, that is the origin. It is used to assign the starting address for a program or a data segment. There is one more assembler directive, E1. Okay. Even means what? If I write even, the next, either it can be a variable or the next instruction, it can be used in any of the segments. The next variable or the next instruction would start with the next even address instead of odd address. Are you getting me? Okay. Say suppose if I'm having data segment, then n defined byte 5 dup 0. Okay. Then I'm having one more variable, say n1 defined byte. Okay. 10. Now, what would be the offset value of n1? Are you getting my point? In the data segment, then n defined byte 5 dup 0. The next variable I'm once declaring, that is n1 defined by 10. What would be the offset value of n1? It would be 0005. Very good. Okay. So now instead of having this odd offset address, I want to have my next variable should be at even address. Okay. Instead of 0005, n1 should be the offset value of that should be 0006. So for that, to get that next even address, I can provide even this assembler directive between n as well as n1. So what I can write, n defined byte 5 dup 0. In the next line, I'll write even. Then I'll write n1 defined by 10. If I do so, n1 would have the offset value now 6 instead of 5. Understood, all of you? It would be the next even address. And can you tell me why we require this? Why I want my data to be at the even address rather than that of the odd address? Yes. So to reduce the fetch cycle. Yes. Okay. As we have already studied, the odd address requires more number of clock cycles, provided if it is a word data type. If it is a byte data type, then there is no issue. So if I want to change my offset address to some even address, then I can use this even assembler directive. Okay. So that's all in today's lecture. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Hope the memory interfacing part is very much clear to you all. Okay. And we have solved enough examples on that, and we'll stop here and we'll continue in the next lecture.